Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
So there's a Loki show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, I can imagine that when Tom Hiddleston first donned the Loki costume and said his first lines, they were like, shit, can we make a Loki movie? No. Damn it. But we could do a show.
A show? We'll
Yeah.
have to create our own streaming service for that.
Yeah, we'd have to spend billions of dollars to have a streaming service that no one asked for that.
All right, but he's so convincing.
Yeah. The whole of Disney Plus was engineered just so that they could make a show for Loki.
They're trying to throw us off by putting it out third.
Yeah. There's a plethora of Loki stories, unlike, Feige's fictitious scenario where he didn't have any way of adapting a Loki movie. There are plenty of self-titled Loki comics to choose from. I picked this one. It's called Loki. It is from 2004, and it is written by Rob Rhodey with art by Asad Ribic.
Yay!
Which is why Tiffany's on the couch.
That's why I'm here.
This is a die-in-the-wool Loki story.
Okay.
It's not like a secret Thor book.
Is Thor in it?
Yeah, Thor is in it.
I mean, he's on the cover
be.
hitting Loki with Mjolnir, so I
Yes.
assume he's in it.
That's true.
That's just to get the Thor fans in.
That's right. Well, and
I know you're buying a book named Loki, but
There- there are other iterations of this particular volume which have changed the name to Thor and Loki.
Floki.
Was this
Thoroki?
No, that's if Frog Thor is there.
I think it's just lore.
lore?
Lore.
Yeah.
No, lore sounds like a bad video game.
It's also a
A
bad
terri-
robot.
Yeah, it's a terrible android that nobody wants to deal with.
No. So much so they invented a different one to not worry about him. Because there's lore, and then there's B4.
B4.
And I remember seeing a trailer for...
B4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was built before Data.
What?
Fart? That's how bankrupt creatively
The last movie.
everyone involved was.
Sounds like a Brent Spiner move.
See, that makes
Yeah.
Floki sound way better.
Does indeed.
You're like, no.
Floki's a character on Vikings.
Floki?
Floki.
Do you watch Vikings?
Yes, I watched Vikings. I stopped after season 3. I couldn't watch
Season 3!
3?
Yes, it was entertaining.
How many seasons of the show? Like 8 episodes?
I can't remember.
You're like 25.
There are enough.
Enough.
All I know is
there's
that
a Throki?
Floki.
Floki.
I said Floki.
Is it Thor and Loki together?
No, it's just
a
Loki
weird
with an
coincidence?
F in front of
Yeah,
it.
he's saying Floki, not Floki.
Not Floki.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I'm
different.
not saying Floki with a lisp.
Oh, okay. Because it is. We're talking about Floki.
Yeah.
Floki.
With TH.
Get
Loki.
with it.
Who isn't real, and we're not talking about him anymore. But this is an epic yarn that is a 4-issue miniseries that they just, I don't know where the hell it came from, honestly, because in 2004, who was asking for Loki books? Rob Rhodey, I guess, because he wrote one, and he wrote the shit out of this. I'd never heard of Rob Rhodey before, and this dude shows up out of nowhere like he's a Kieran Gillen or a Neil Gaiman, and I'm like, what?
So like he kicks down the doors like, "Yo, Loki!"
Exactly.
Somewhere Kieran Gillen just blushed because you acted like he was like a Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, well, he is. I think. In my limited scope, I say yay. But this is, and it's by Asad Ribic, who you've seen in a countless plethora of stories, including the current Eternals book. He
Yeah.
also drew Secret Wars.
And Conan.
And Conan with Jason Aaron, and he's done Thor as well. Again, with Aaron.
He's kind of a perfect fit for this, going backwards. Like, if you start from his career now and go back, it's like, of course he drew like this book.
Yeah, and this book is epic. It's just an epic story. It's a Loki story through and through. Thor is in it because you can't tell a Loki story without Thor. And that's part of the problem. That's Loki's whole pathos. Is
Right.
like, he's
get away
inexorably,
from him.
I can't get away from him. And so this is a story, and it's not a what-if book. I genuinely feel like this was in continuity.
Where in continuity?
It doesn't matter. That's the thing, is that this is an epic. In fact, it's so epic that it's like almost a shame we have to do it with this limited format. This like little trade. You know what I mean?
As
Like
opposed to...
well, as
A
opposed,
scroll that we
yeah, like
roll
An
through.
oversized version of
as
it.
opposed to this volume right
my
here,
God!
Oh, you actually had something.
which is the oversized edition, which is called Thor and Loki.
Damn.
Available in the description below this video.
Do you have the scroll too?
No, I don't have the scroll.
Damn
sorry.
it!
We have to quest for that.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I didn't bring my equipment.
Oh, it's too bad.
Oh,
I'm gonna die.
That's great. Ben just rejected the call to adventure, so now the next step will be that he has to, lose a sage-like character.
Now the call to adventure is going to hit him on the head until he goes.
That's right. Wait. By the way, Thor miniseries, Loki. This thing, Thor and Loki, blood brothers.
Gotta get a subtitle in there.
But more titles.
And Thor comes first.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's even on the cover more.
I don't think Thor says more than like one sentence.
He's on the cover more here.
in this entire book.
Loki also looks like an old man.
Mostly
Yeah, Loki's gross. The idea is that Ribic is giving you a kind of like odd-toothed, gross-looking Loki.
Oh, I don't want that.
It's Grosky. You don't have to laugh at
There's a
that.
lot going on in this episode. So
I like Grosky.
So does
Wayne Grosky.
So does Loki become a super hot chick in this?
No, but they do reference it.
They reference super hot Loki?
Yes.
I mean, isn't all Loki super hot Loki?
I
You
mean,
just said he looked
Tom
gross.
Hiddleston.
I'd still do
Loki,
it.
What?
This Loki?
No.
He is ripped.
Ben said it.
He's more ripped than you. But he is gross. You have way better teeth. Anyway, so Loki opens and Thor has been defeated and Loki is Lord of Asgard. How did he beat him? Who gives a shit? We get
moving past that.
We move past that. It's just, what if Loki were Lord of Asgard
Is Loki
now?
green?
He is not green. He wears green, but he is associated so strongly with the color that the color palette seems to.
I think
hint
it's
at this.
Ribic giving him a sickly color palette as he is meant to be seen
he
as
does-
an antagonist and
Yes.
villain.
And he does look anemic throughout the book.
Okay.
He also is missing teeth and stuff. He's supposed to be kind of witch-like. Supposed to look
Okay.
like someone that would be tormented by
Like a
someone
bad
as
guy.
sexy as Thor.
Like
yeah.
a crone.
You know what's
Yes.
great? This side of the couch really lucked out on the book side.
Yeah, you guys got the little book.
Well, I got my own
Well,
though.
the thing is, this book's so big, everyone can enjoy.
No. You keep that over here.
So as you can see, Loki has defeated Thor. Thor is humiliated and he's chained up, and it's just and Asgard falls lockstep because they're a regal society.
Well,
right. Oh, whoever's
He's-
on top.
Yeah.
Not only that,
follow.
but he's Thor's brother.
yeah,
And
he's
he
next
won.
in line.
All right. Yeah, he takes
Yeah.
over.
But Loki, he defeats Thor, and we get hints about how Loki defeated Thor. He didn't do it alone, and he did it through allies that are also antagonists in Thor's books. And it's cool because Rhodey doesn't just go, I'm going to tell you a Loki story, and continuity be damned. Clearly, dude read Thor. And
he was paying
references,
attention.
yeah, and he uses Thor characters who would play the roles they play, but they also are these icons that basically represent the character that they always are. And they don't reference Secret Invasion or anything. they just do what they do. And they are who they are.
Your book has better colors. Also, check out Ribic conjuring Frazetta here in
Oh,
these poses.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in the fact that we got this filler over here just to make the pages look right.
Yeah.
When you could have just made the book bigger.
I agree. The margins in here, and every single page has the new terrible title, Thor and Loki Blood Brothers.
In case you forgot.
Just in case you forget, page to page. Page to page to page to page. Ah!
Wait, what am I reading?
I wonder if it's something to do with they didn't want to have to trim it down because it would have cost more, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
when
like
you
they
do,
already had paper that size.
Whenever
Yeah.
you're wondering why Marvel did something, and you're thinking maybe they did it to cut corners or
answer
save
is
money,
yes.
the answer is an emphatic yes. So Loki has won. The idea is that we're past the big war, the big fight. And Loki's in charge, and he's defeated Thor, and Thor is humiliated and emasculated before his subjects.
Wait a minute. Odin's there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
Odin was defeated too.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yep. How'd he do it? Who gives a shit? Moving on. What matters is this is a Loki story.
Okay.
And so Loki is speaking before his new subjects, and there's a child among his subjects who calls out to him and kicks him in the ass.
Literally kicks him in the ass.
Yep. And Loki's like, what the hell is this? And the child's parents beg for his forgiveness, and, Loki gets in the kid's face because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And
Well, he also got kicked in the butt.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not cool.
right. And the kid is obstinate and frustrating to Loki, and it immediately reminds him
Of himself.
of himself. And he was a little boy facing off against Odin and being like, I am not your son. I am like a prisoner. He doesn't remember that because he was an infant when he was taken from Loki.
Yeah, but he knows that happened.
But he knows his origins, and he's just... It's what he says when he's
read
like,
his origin
"You're not my
story."
real dad, Odin." Meh. And he remembers wailing and crying like a child, and then it brings him back to where he is, and he's like, okay. And that gives him pause, and he takes the kid, and he's like, you hate me because you were bred to hate me, but listen, like, things are gonna be great, and like, I see greatness in you, because, you know, you remind me of me, and the kid spits in his face.
Okay, well, that's enough.
Basically, he just shoves the child away and he leaves. And he goes and he's like, okay, so clearly I need a couple more days of lordship before the people start groveling.
Right,
So maybe
right.
I'll sit in the throne and that'll make me feel better. So he sits in his throne and he's reminded of being in this throne room, and he's surrounded by characters that are Thor characters who talk about how great and gallant they are and how they defeated Loki 1,000 times and what a loser he is.
That's quite the outfit Sif is almost wearing.
Yes.
Oh,
Wait, that's her
Yeah.
skin?
No.
no.
Oh, okay.
No, like her arms look like it is, but then she's wearing shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Sal's hand was covering the shorts, so I only saw red.
I genuinely believe that Ribic drew her differently, and the colorists were told by editorial, give her more clothes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of characters in here whose nipples are obviously there and are just covered by clothing that is just colors.
Like Thor.
Right.
well, we've seen it. Thor's nipples can be free and clear. We're okay with it.
Let them be free.
Yes.
Let them breathe.
Hashtag free the nipple. Loki sits in the chair and he's immediately met by one of his attendants who's like, hey, one of the people you defeated was Heimdall, who guards the Rainbow Bridge. You need someone there to guard it. There is no one there. There's never been no one there. You need somebody there. Like, if you're in charge, you got to start doing things that people who are in charge do.
Right, like you got to run things.
You got to run things, and you got to pick a guy. If it's not Heimdall, you got to pick a guy. And later he's going to be like, okay, so there's nobody like Heimdall, but like Heimdall says he's loyal to Asgard more than the throne.
So he'll do it?
He'll do it.
Oh, okay.
Like-
I was concerned that he's loyal to Asgard more than the throne.
Yeah, no.
So like,
I don't
whoever
care
sits
who's
on
there.
the throne.
Yeah, I don't care who's there. I serve Asgard. If
Okay.
Asgard needs the Rainbow Bridge watched, I will watch it.
Okay.
I don't care who's in charge.
It's a little weird circular logic. We're like, well, yeah, but the throne is also an important part of Asgard. Shouldn't you also serve me because you serve Asgard?
Well, I am paraphrasing, so you know.
But he's also like, I don't get to go anywhere, so I don't care.
Right.
I'm here.
Yeah.
24/7.
Right. Exactly. It's not like I'm going to start fighting.
What's happening over there?
But he is friends with Thor and Sif, and so Loki never gives Heimdall his job back.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so he's sitting there, and he is met by another character named Lorelei. Lorelei is sister to the Enchantress, and she aided Loki in his ascension to power. And she's like, I'm here to collect. I helped you become Lord of Asgard. Now you got to pay me back.
Do you want to watch the Rainbow Bridge?
Yeah,
I am good at this.
It's
I've solved 2 problems in 1 stroke.
it's a great honor.
I am way better than this than Odin. But he's like, so you've come to claim your reward, and she says yes, and others. And behind her is like a group of characters who all helped Loki reach their position. And he's like, ugh. And so like he just sits there and he like listens to their pleas and he like grants them as they come like a
Yeah.
mall Santa Claus until finally he just gets sick of it. And he's like, I'm done.
But that's what a leader has to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I will grant your wish. I'll
Yeah,
grant
but
your wish.
I just wanted to
Not gonna
defeat.
grant anything.
I just wanted to defeat Thor.
Right. I just
And
wanted to be in charge.
I didn't
wanna
think about
do
what I wanted to
anything.
do.
Yeah.
That's enough. And like one of his attendants is like, dude,
There's all these people here.
I waited all day in line to meet with you and get my reward for toppling this rightful leadership. And
You're saying I betrayed
yeah,
my oath and everything for no
for nothing.
reason?
I won't stand for this. And Loki's like, no, you won't. You will kneel.
Oh.
Everybody kneels.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
Jesus,
Yeah,
give me a breather.
He's like, yeah, but I feel like tomorrow you won't be available either. So he arrives in his chambers and he's like, oh, finally. And then Daya arrives. And Daya is a concubine sent by the Norn queen, Carnilla. Carnilla is like showing her favor because she also helped Loki win. And so
Okay.
she's like, okay, well, when you become Lord of Asgard, I'm going to send you a sex slave. Here you go. Her name's Daya, and she's really good at what she does.
And she's also the spirit of the earth.
That's Gaia.
Oh, right.
So she says, is there anything I can do? What can I do to please you? And he goes, run the kingdom for me.
Oh,
And she's like, no.
that's not really what I do.
And he goes, leave. Like, go away. That's what I want you to do. Because Loki's not, like, motivated by sex.
Okay.
No, it's about power.
Yeah. Well, he thought it was about power. It's really about like revenge. It's more petty than power.
Oh, he just wanted to beat Thor.
Yes, but it takes him a whole book to learn
Does
that.
Daya have like an existential crisis? She's like, all I meant to be is a sex slave. What do I do?
No, she is meant to show up at the end of the book.
Oh, okay.
That's what she's doing here.
Well, that's what she goes off to have and has an existential crisis.
Naturally,
Yes.
yeah. We'll get the spin-off book from Rod Rice later.
Oh God, do I learn weaving now?
Right.
Can I weave?
Okay, I am bad at baskets.
I am bad at this. Okay. Well, there's a million things I could do besides sex.
I tried to weave a basket. I weaved a dildo.
She can start her ye old Etsy shop.
Yeah, she services all the 9 realms. So Hela appears.
Oh.
Oh, that's not Carnilla.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Carnella shows up later.
that is 100% Hela.
Yeah. So Hela's like, hey, I also helped you.
Oh my god.
Did you get help from
just got-
everyone?
Everyone who hates Thor.
There's a lot more people that hate Thor than probably love Thor.
Yeah.
Because he's defeated a lot of people.
Let me tell you something. There's no insurrection. You know, it's not like the Asgardians are like, this sucks, we'll kill you.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
you know. I mean, Thor is a prince of Odin. He's a braggart.
Right.
Or at least that's
Just
the
like,
version we see from Loki's
It's just
perspective.
gods fighting each other. Well, I don't care.
Yeah, as long as the
They're all
mead
horrible.
arrives on time, I don't care.
Yeah, we need the Rainbow Bridge, mead, and Wi-Fi. That's it.
That's it.
When she arrives like this, it makes me think of the Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Cool.
yeah.
So she arrives and he's like, ah, geez. And
Also,
he,
butt.
yeah, everyone's got butts. And Ribbick's happy to show them to you.
Check out this butt.
So she's like, I'm here for what I am owed. And he's like, and what could I offer you? Because he realizes, like, oh shit, it's Hela, Queen of Hell. Like, I'm not going to mess with her. I'm not going to argue with her.
I can't blow off Hela.
Yeah, no, exactly. And she says, I want the immortal soul of Thor. And he's like, oh.
She's like, I want Daya. Where is she?
Right. No, she's mine. You can have her. Because Loki's covetous
Yeah,
and petty.
even if something he didn't want.
Exactly. I don't want him right now. I want him when you've made your decision. And he's like, well, what do you mean? She goes, when you've decided to kill him. When you execute Thor, that's the day I'll claim his soul. And long have I wanted it. And he's like,
How would you get his soul before then? Like, you called dibs?
well, I could just hand them to you. But Loki has plans for Thor. And the plans are to leave him humiliated. Because Loki's like, I was never planning on killing Thor. My vengeance is to see him fallen and humiliated. That's my whole thing. And she's like, well,
Ooh, that's not gonna work for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
I-
you want to see Thor humiliated and yet you're wearing that?
That is
You're
Loki's costume.
And you look like the court jester.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said for that because he's a would-be king. He's
a
actually more of
trickster?
a clown. Yeah. Well, and Hela points out that he is a trickster, where she's like, "You were a trickster, like when you were fighting Thor, but you wanted to be Lord of Asgard, and wait, if you're a king, you got to be different from what you were, and if you're gonna be different, you got to get over your boyhood squabbles and be a man and kill your brother."
By the way, before there's like 12 comments that are going to tell you that she's not the Queen of Hell, she's the Queen of Niflheim.
The Queen of Niflheim.
Niflheim.
Ah, sure.
It's one of the realms. It's her realm.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a hell. It's not like.
No, it's not.
The
It's not
hell.
Mephisto's hell.
Right.
It's a hell with one L.
Yeah,
Right,
but it's
okay.
like a place you can go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd be
You can
like-
travel to via the
Well, you
Rainbow
can go
Bridge.
to the other one too, because Mephisto's there. You can chill
Well,
with him.
yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah, but you gotta die to go to that
it's
hell.
like a realm like Asgard is.
Right.
Right. She wants his soul, so to me that implies it's where dead people
Well,
go.
I think, because you have to be a die-in-the-wool warrior to go to Valhalla.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
This is where maybe other people go.
This is where
that's-
garbage goes, like us.
I mean,
And that's where, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where Thor would go, but Loki can offer it.
Right.
Like Hela can claim them.
Right. Okay.
So Loki muses on that fact for a little bit, where he's like, if I'm not the trickster god, like if I'm not Loki, then where am I going? Like, who am I then? What is? I never really thought about where this led, and maybe it
Right.
actually does existentially change my identity. But like, if I'm Loki, I'm defined by Thor. But if there's no Thor, then what is Loki?
He's
you
like,
know?
can I weave?
Right. Where's Daya?
Daya, how's the weaving going?
So in
Oh, man,
Jotunheim,
like open a brewery or something.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a demand for it.
It's freaking Asgard. There's a million breweries.
Now
Right, that's
imagining
true.
Loki hanging out like in Seattle, like having like his
Yeah.
microbrew.
Oh yeah, and it
It's
sucks.
super sour.
Yeah, no kidding. So in Jotunheim, the news that Loki has ascended to the throne has reached all these different folks, and there's a beshrouded character who hears the name Loki and starts their pilgrimage to Asgard, and that's peppered out throughout the story. Is this like this buff character who's shrouded in like a cloak, who constantly asks where Loki is heading towards Asgard.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah, who's
who
that?
he is,
And
where's
where
he
are we
coming?
going? Uh-oh.
Oh,
I helped
man.
Loki too, and I want a favor back.
Yeah. So Loki goes to the dungeons where he wants to call upon Thor, and he's going to give him a hard time. So he opens up the gates, and we see where Thor is being kept. And there's a lot of flashbacks. Like every time that Loki does anything, it reminds him of something from his past, and he's thinking about looking at Thor and reminding himself of like when he was younger and looking
That
at
time he looked at
that
him.
time he looked at him, and Thor pointed it
I
out.
remember
That one time he looked at him, yeah.
It was like, hey, what are you looking at?
Right, exactly.
What? Nothing.
He's like, nothing.
So
Because you're nothing.
So Loki, he bails on looking at Thor anymore after his flashback.
I can't take it anymore. We just keep having this flashback.
He also gets really hard to getting close to the door because of his horns.
Yeah.
Now you're in there. It's,
He's just looking through the
damn it.
people. So Loki's met by an attendant who Loki basically just uses as an opportunity to abuse.
Who's not as important because his horns are smaller. You can tell.
Loki has the idea of taking Thor's life has infected Loki's mind, and he's like, God, like, what am I gonna do? Do I kill Thor or do I don't kill Thor? I wasn't gonna kill Thor, but now maybe I should. If I'm gonna be a big deal, then I definitely should kill Thor. But like, what do you think, guy? How about you? You think I should kill Thor, don't you? Well, and he just like grabs him and starts like shaking him, and
Oh my God.
he calls for the warden and he asks for the keys and like to be sent to another area where another prisoner is kept, and he opens it up, and that's where Lady Sif is kept.
Oh.
Lady Sif and Loki have a history, which is actually referenced.
Well, her hair's darker here.
Yeah, well, her hair is always black, but there was a period when she had blonde hair.
Yeah. We see that here.
Yes, she had beautiful blonde hair, which Thor loved, and Loki was jealous of it, and so while she slept, he cut it all off.
And Thor liked it because it reminded him of himself and who's the best person in the world? Thor.
Yes,
It's just, he's like, ah.
looking at you is like looking into a mirror, but with boobs.
And I love it.
I mean, mine are bigger, obviously.
Naturally, and I can make them move. Watch. So
He cut off her hair, but that doesn't explain why it turned dark.
well,
When it grew
because-
back.
No, it didn't
was
grow back.
vengeful and
oh,
hatred.
it's a wig?
No, it is sewn into her scalp by Odin's like trolls or whatever.
He
Dwarves.
forever cut her hair off?
Yes.
Like it won't grow back?
It will not grow back.
What?
I guess
He
Okay.
used Nair or something.
he used a magic dagger, I bet.
No, he just used scissors.
He used scissors.
He used
Like,
magic
this
scissors that cut her
Asgardian's
hair.
hair just doesn't grow.
Look, it's mythic. I think the idea here is like Loki used his malice and hatred and
Right.
jealousy and pettiness and infused it into the scissors, and the scissors stripped her of the thing that like Loki coveted most.
I imagine that it was, he cut her hair, and she's just like, no, I'll rock the bald look, and Thor just goes, Gah!
Yeah. And she's like,
Whoa!
okay.
You gotta do something about this. And then the next day, she's like, Odin, give me
You gotta
give me
do something with this.
I'm imagining Loki grabbed all the hair and he tried to put it on his head, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Now Thor will like me."
Yeah. I just shove it in the helmet.
Yeah.
No.
Look like a scarecrow.
But while he torments Sif with his taunts, it reminds him of another story. And so we're seeing a flashback of Thor and Loki fight trolls on one end, and Sif is fighting more trolls on another end. And Thor calls out to Sif. He's like, "Lady Sif, do you need my assistance?" She's like, "More like, do you need my assistance? Because you have Loki on your side."
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, and Loki reminds.
He's like minus strength.
Yeah, and Thor's response is boisterous laughter and well put, Sif.
Is this
Good
entire
one.
Yeah.
book Loki's scumbag brain reminding him of every horrible experience of
Yes.
his life? It's like in that moment where you have like a quiet moment, your brain's like, "Hey, remember that time you did something completely embarrassing?
Yeah.
I'll never forget." And I'm like, "Cool, thanks."
Yeah.
I bet he has a hard time going to sleep at night.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, no, dwarves Brock and Eitri took raven tresses and sewed them into her scalp and gave her this hair.
Oh, so it is hair.
Yeah.
From someone.
Right.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
somebody, presumably.
That's
or
pretty
they-
good for secondhand hair.
Yeah.
What's magic?
It is magic, and that's the idea. But like,
enchanted hair.
But she points out that Thor likes it better than the blonde hair. And so
Oh.
congratulations, Loki, you're a loser twice over.
So wait, why are her eyebrows dark?
Well, you
And
know,
her,
they needed to
and
match.
her eyes. If she was a blonde hair, how come her eyes are so dark?
That can happen.
That can happen.
Well, I took the down from the Ravens too. And
Right,
it
yeah.
had that-
Yeah.
I wanted it to match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she refers to it as Raven in terms of color,
Yeah.
you know. But I associate ravens with Odin, so I assume like, you know, he plucked a feather from his birds and sewed it into beautiful silken hair. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of impression we're getting from this
Yeah, that's the
story
kind of nonsense you get from this man.
when you're dealing with gods and shit.
Yep.
But she calls him Loki Lackeyson, not Laufeyson,
Oh.
because that's the thing that the children used to call him.
Oh.
Little Loki Lackeyson.
Yeah, and he freaks out, and he goes at her, and she's like, that's it. Because all she wanted was to bring him closer. She could get him.
Ah.
So he brings himself closer, she grabs him immediately, because she's a better fighter than him.
Yeah.
She just reverses him, and he calls for the
more
guard,
ripped than
and
him.
and the guard doesn't attend right away. He kind of like
Yeah,
waits,
he's waiting to
Yeah.
see.
waiting to see where this pans
see
out.
where this goes.
But while Sif is choking him out, then the guard eventually shows up and waylays her.
He's like, all right.
Yeah, and Loki's like, "Hey, you took too long. What do you wanted to see what side it was going to turn out on? You suck."
He's
Then
like-
you know what? That's it. You made your choice. Thor dies. Thor
like,
dies at dawn.
He's like, honestly, I had to think of something really uncomfortable so that I could walk because
Yeah.
this was pretty hot.
You're right.
That was just
Because everyone's wearing
give me a second.
loincloths. They leave nothing to imagination.
You just got to give me a second here, man. Come on.
But yeah.
I did save you.
So Loki
Yeah,
basically declares that Thor will die, and this is what gives Sif pause, and she says, "No, you dare not. That dawn will never come, lackey son." And the
Oh,
screaming.
that's going to make him change his mind.
Well, she's just like, well, she knows he's going to make that decision, so screw him. I'm going to make fun of him
Right.
and remind him of the torment that he suffered as a child. And as he's
Hey,
leaving,
you're going through flashbacks. Here's another.
exactly. So then, when Loki leaves, he is met by Carnilla, who's like, "Hey,
Hi.
Who's
pay
Carnilla?
up. Carnilla's the queen of the North.
Yeah, what about
Oh, the
Daya?
Norn
Yeah, I
person,
gave you
okay.
Daya. Now
Come
give
on.
me what I asked for." And what she wants, and this is in canon, is that she wants Balder.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, because Balder is pure and incorruptible and
nigh
beautiful,
invincible.
and she's like, "I want to bang Balder, so give me Balder." I
Yeah.
understand Balder was part of the force that you fought, and I offered to help you out, so in exchange for not executing Balder and giving him to me, so that I could bang Balder.
Yeah, I gave you someone a boink. You give me someone a boink.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a tit for tat, so to speak. So that's what the expression goes. I'm sorry if there's a double entendre. She says, "Yeah, I did save Balder, and I will give him to you. I just never said when." And she's like, "Oh, okay, horse shit."
It's
So he's leaving, like he just had
But
the
I
last
want to
word.
bang now.
I love it because like he leaves, like that's the final word. That's the part where we change scenes, and she's like,
Right.
"No," and just keeps following him.
right.
No,
Like,
no,
not
I'm
leaving.
cutting. I'm cutting away.
Yeah,
No, I'm having a flashback. Go away.
yeah. And so she's chasing after him, and he's like, "Hey, stop following me! Do not cross me. I betrayed people to help you. I could betray you just as quickly. You know, the Rainbow Bridge is unattended. I could go to Earth and call people like Captain Friggin' America and stuff to kick your ass, man."
What?
She doesn't say any character names. She just
Right.
says, "I can go to Midgard and get some of Thor's friends to come up here. I'm sure Iron Man would love to pop in."
Right. Yeah, I can switch sides anytime I want.
Exactly.
You have
She's
to
like-
keep me happy.
And you're clearly like unhinged.
She's thinking about Cap. She's like, yeah, maybe I like a Cap and maybe Hulk and
Yeah.
and Iron Man. And just who are the other guys? Who
Yeah,
are the
who are
rest
all
of
just
the
all the
who-
men,
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
big strong
I guess
men.
I could.
I'm gonna sleep on a bed of pecs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And the guy with the arrows.
I don't know who that guy, but he cupped him.
You know,
just
we don't
us.
need him. We have enough archers here. We don't need one guy from Midgard
but
who's
he-
as good as all the
he's
other guys. we have.
exotic.
That's true. Yeah, he's purple. So Loki, I don't know if he does it on purpose or not, but he ends up sealing himself in Balder's cell. He
to get away
with-
from
Just
her?
goes
Yeah,
in
to
there
get
to
away
get
from
away from her.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So-
the one place he didn't want to be, though.
Right, yeah.
Balder's
So
cell.
he hides in Balder's cell. Balder comes out and he's like, "Hey, dickhead." By the way, Rob Rody's prose is divine. It's sublime.
Yeah. He doesn't say dickhead, but I love
He
imagining
don't
that was the
"Hey,
case.
dickhead." No, I got to tell you, Rob Rody's prose is sublime. It's so beautiful and so well written and so flowy. It works on every level, and it adds that grandiose nature to Ribbick's pencils, and it makes the whole thing poetry. I am butchering this book, but we got to do a Loki story, and this is my favorite, so we're gonna do it.
We're doing it in your style.
But I gotta say, buy it and read it because it's an experience and a half. And by the way, the whole book can be summarized in one page because in this trade, Rhodey's pitch to Marvel is in it, and it's 1 page, and he just tells you the whole plot, and he's right, but, there's some good stuff.
I'm not looking over there.
No, don't worry, you're fine.
I was looking at the art in the back.
Yeah, this one has bigger art in the
Oh,
back.
bigger
It's
art.
sticky.
It also, this has never been opened before, so.
Oh, it's like staticky.
Yeah.
Are there other books in here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this one collects like some of the stories that are referenced or flashback to.
I was wondering, you had so many more pages to go than I did.
Yeah, no.
Those are
Oh.
nice. Oh, damn.
Yeah, look at these unused cover sketches that are really way better. So Balder and Loki have a back and forth, and basically what Balder does, because Loki's like, I didn't have you executed, not just because of my deal with Karnilla, but also because you never tormented me as a child. In fact, you never really talked to me outside of your self-aggrandizing condescension. Because Balder's great, and he's beautiful, and he's wonderful, and he's just
I'm just above you.
Yeah, and there's this moment where Loki comes up to Balder when they're children or young adults, and Balder's like playing on his harp, and birds are coming to him, and they're singing for him, and he goes, Balder, how do you get the birds to sing to you? I would learn that trick. And Balder's like, it's no trick. They just do for me, because I'm great and beautiful. Now fuck off.
You wouldn't understand.
Because you suck.
Yeah.
I was just like nice to them.
Yeah, well, no, it's
and
I'm
then-
so beautiful.
I look like
That
this.
they sing for me.
Oh.
Like,
I don't even
it's-
have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything. It comes naturally to me.
Oh.
I was born with privilege.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't even question it. He's just like, it's not a trick. Be gone.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You're not me.
You're
Exactly.
fundamentally incapable.
And he's like, I don't like that. Because And so Loki arranged for a situation in which a blind soldier shot Balder with an arrow and would die. You know what's funny is that actually you did me a favor by having me almost killed, because when I crossed the threshold, creation was made known to me, and I know more than you do about yourself, which is to say, there are many Lokis in the multiverse. And this reminds me, of course, of the Infinity Wars,
Yeah.
which we did, where Loki was like, are there more? Why are there more than me? And none of them are good. And he's like, that was brought up almost 10 years prior, where Balder's like, there are many Lokis, and they all have, they all have different stories, and they all have different origins. Some of them have different names. And he proceeds to talk about all these different names of Loki, like Loge, or Lokes, or Loader, or Locke.
Just all terrible
all the
nicknames
different
for
Loader?
you.
Yeah, Kurt Loader. He's
a Loki.
Yeah, one Loki was a news correspondent for MTV. Many
There's
of
the Lokemeister,
Yeah.
Locaroni,
Locarino. All these Lokis have had many different adventures and different stories, but none of them ruled Asgard.
The eyes right there of him being like, oh shit.
Yeah,
It's
right.
amazing.
I've seen him as a woman. I've seen that
Oh.
the female Loki will birth Slipnir himself.
Slipnir is like it's a disaster of a creature.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of a
hot
bunch of
mess.
cool things.
Oh, it's not good.
But it's also dope to see in comic book form, because you'll see Thor riding it and stuff.
Oh.
So anyway, I've never seen him rule. And that's the fundamental sadness of you, is that I don't have to break out of here or wait. You'll just lose eventually, because there is no Loki who wins. And he runs away, and he's like, ah! And he goes, well, so I'm fated to lose? Is that what I'm doing? So
Everyone's so mean to me.
I know, everyone's always been so mean to me, and now that I'm in charge, they're even more mean.
They're all gonna laugh at you, Loki.
I just want to get away.
Yeah, so Loki, he calls for Karnilla, because she's also like a sorceress, kind of. Not a great sorceress.
You know,
but-
she's just been storming around.
yeah, he calls for her, and she's like, yeah.
It's
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. How long have you been there?
Yeah, and he's like, I will give you Balder, but you got to do something for me. And it's like, I just did something
I
for
already
you.
did something
Yeah,
for you,
what?
man.
But we need to move on. So, so she just does. But also, he calls to his attendant, who, by the way, was like, hey, where were you? And he's like, I thought you wanted privacy. He's like, I did, but you didn't know that. So I need you to tell everybody to build gallows. Like, we're gonna kill Thor at dawn. I need huge theatrical gallows done by dawn.
okay.
And so go do that. Tell everybody to go do that.
The Dawn Gallows.
Yeah. And
I want you to make a giant statue of me with a huge penis, and then he's gonna jump off and hang by my penis.
by my dick, yeah. So Karnilla meets with Loki. Loki's like, you got to do me a favor again, and she's like, so they're building the big gallows.
Yeah.
It's impressively done, but it's not done to his satisfaction, and he gives the attendant a hard time. You know, basically, he's like, if you don't finish it, Thor will die by dawn if the gallows aren't done. Like, we're just gonna kill everybody who didn't finish the gallows.
Jeez.
Oh, this is like a never-ending, like, oh no, I'm gonna kill Thor. I'm gonna kill him in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not ready. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll kill him tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
I'll kill him tomorrow morning.
So he's also bothered again by an attendant who's like, the Rainbow Bridge, man, you got to get that Rainbow Bridge going. He's like, no, I'm not dealing with that right now. And that's when he tells him,
the Rainbow Bridge?
he says like Heimdall's willing to watch the bridge for nothing. Like he'll do it
Right.
for free, man. Just
Right.
just let him out. And he's like, no. Heimdall is friends with Thor. I don't trust him. I don't care if like Heimdall has never betrayed Asgard and that he said that he wouldn't betray me. I don't care. You know what? Blow up the bridge. Screw the Rainbow Bridge. And they're like, what? And he's like, Asgard's self-sufficient. Why do we need to go anywhere? So he's like, blow it. And they're like, okay.
Wait, is that before we finish the gallows or after we finish the
Right,
gallows?
exactly. Because it's going to take as many people to destroy the bridge as are making your stupid gallows. Should we do that like maybe in the afternoon? Anyway, so he calls for Carnilla.
Wait,
again,
you like skipped over his like Denethor moment with
he's eating a suckling
head?
pig and he
It's-
bites the
it's
nose.
horrible.
It's horrible.
I don't want to see this.
Well, you're
I want
seeing it
I want to
now.
see this more than I want to see what Ben said before.
Right, that's fair.
So, just want to point that out.
Yeah.
So Carnilla's ready, and she prepares a spell for Loki, which is to basically lift the veil between himself and the multiverse to look at different versions of Loki.
I love that they're not using Enchantress
No.
because it's like easy.
Because Enchantress loves Thor. She would never
No,
do this.
that's true, but like it's easy because
Oh, it
she's
would be
magical
easy.
to
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
make
and
up some
Carnilla's funny
reason.
because like nobody uses her, and so you know, she basically
naked there.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that is not a shirt.
Like she wearing a shirt there, but she naked there. Her magic blew that top right off.
No, I have to be naked for the magic.
Exactly, it doesn't work
But
right.
she still has sleeves.
Yeah.
Sleeves aren't clothing. What are they
Sleeves
covering?
are added in
Yeah.
post.
So she shows
No sleeves.
all the different Lokis of the multiverse, and they're pretty friggin' awesome looking. And she sees that like
Well,
Wait,
some
these
of them
are all Lokis?
these are all different Lokis and Thors.
Oh.
because Loki can't be disconnected from Thor.
I would say like bird butterfly Loki.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's okay. I wouldn't say cool.
I mean, look at his awesome horn feathers.
It's many
Yeah,
things,
I think
it's
those
not-
are great.
It
His
is
plumage just
magical.
is beautiful.
Is he trying to like see if?
Yeah, he
if-
wants to see.
He's like, no, there's got to be one who wins.
Yes.
I like these two.
Yeah, me too.
This reminds me of a character that we'll talk about.
But I love Loki is asked by Carnilla, you know, like, does it make your heart leap or break to know that there are multiples of you? Like to know that you're not alone in the universe, but also that like nothing you do matters. And he says, show me what happens to all of them. And she's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard.
Cool.
But she does anyway. And basically she's like, they all lose. They're all chained to a rock with a serpent over his face, dripping venom on his face. That is the fate of all Lokis.
They all end exactly that
They
way.
all end here. They all end up on the rock.
What about Tree Loki?
Yeah, he gets
still.
rock, viper,
Bird Loki?
Nope. Yep. On the rock.
Black and White Loki?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they all get the snake. But he does have a lover.
What about Snake Loki?
What about Dragon Loki?
We
Is there a
only
Dragon
see like
Loki?
6 Lokis.
What about the Loki who wins? Is there a Loki who wins?
There is no Loki who wins.
This is the closest Loki we're getting to the one that
And
wins.
Loki says that when he sees all of it, he's like, screw that.
This is it. I'm the Loki who wins. This is great.
Right.
You just made my day.
Yeah, I'm the one. Yeah, you are Loki, sure.
Yeah.
So so she sees it. So he sees it and he's like, nah, and he runs away. She's like, hey, you got to give me Balder, and he runs away.
Later.
I'm not giving you Balder now.
That's like,
Why don't you show me
there's
that?
a lady who cares.
Yes, there is a woman who attends him who fills a bowl with the poison, but every time she has to empty the bowl, he gets poison in his face.
Yeah.
It's Carnilla.
That's.
Yeah,
Still haven't given me Boulder.
Where is he?
Soon! Oh, the venom!
How does that snake have so much venom? He's
Well,
like,
It's
they
a
feed
magic
it.
I know.
You of all people. So
He's just filled with venom.
Even you,
Yeah.
Tiffany?
Yes, even
I expect this from Ben and Ethan.
yeah, but you? That's why you're here, is to defend me from these jackals.
You're
supposed to be on my side. The only people on my side is this damn book.
Never assume to know my mind.
This is true. And the lesson to all of you.
That's That said, this is the traditional fate of Loki.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
What I dig about this, though, is like it's almost as though he's peering into like our like mythology
Yes.
to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what? They wrote it that way? That sucks. Fuck everybody reading this
Wait,
book.
hang on. Can we fix that?
Yeah.
I like that all kinds of crazy stuff can happen to him in the middle part of his life, but at the end, it's still just going to be that one thing.
It's going to be that rock and that snake.
He's like, this is the worst. Wait, hang on. I didn't take my finger out of the page. If I go back,
Yeah.
can I change my fate?
No.
So try to look surprised. Loki meets with Thor, and he's basically like, I beat you. But, like, my destiny is to lose. Is that
How's that
true?
possible?
How's that possible? But I do remember, and he thinks of a time when he's battling Thor, and
Oh, good, another flashback.
the book is nothing but flashbacks and
Yeah, well, it covers like a day, so like, yeah, there's going to be flashbacks.
exactly. In their battle, Thor should have been defeated, but then he suddenly wins. And he's like, you've pulled a hat trick so many times, then maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Maybe Carnilla manipulated the visions to sow doubt in my mind to make me become my own downfall, and that could
For
be
what purpose?
But that's like the second person to tell you the exact same thing.
Yeah, but like maybe,
Maybe she's in cahoots.
But he says maybe she's in cahoots. Maybe she's already met with Balder because like she wants to bang him anyway. That the two of them are working together to sow dissent.
screw me.
Yeah, to screw me over and make me doubt myself so that I will lose. You know what? I can't think about the past or the multiverse or whatever. I got to look forward. Bye. And when he leaves, because Thor doesn't look at him, he doesn't speak to him. But when he leaves, we see Thor's arm, which is chained against a wall, and he flexes. Like he flexes his muscle, and then he looks up to show like
I'm working on it.
There is strength within Thor yet, and maybe Thor is working.
He's
on his
Uncle
own.
Irohing.
Yeah,
It also
He's
looks like
working out
he got bit
secretly.
by a lot of snakes.
yeah. He's got a couple of pock marks. I also like that when he flexes, the wound gets bigger and more blood pours out.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what a great detail. Anyway, so Loki bumps into his mother, or his adopted mother, Frigga, who's like, you suck.
Who's wearing her hair like a helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she just puts that on.
Weird.
Yeah. Foomp. But she's like, you are an unnatural thing. Don't even touch me. And he's like, no. Like, screw you.
Well, you look like a Weird Al lady.
So he goes to meet with Odin because that's why he bumped into her, because she was just seeing Odin. And
Oh,
basically,
conjugal visits, yeah.
yeah. And basically, Odin is just like, you know, Odin feels bad for where Loki ended up. You know, he says, I failed you. I've utterly failed you.
Yeah, because I didn't teach you that you're always going to lose.
Right.
I didn't teach you to, befriend snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, or charm them so they wouldn't drip venom in your face forever. But,
That's on me.
yeah.
Not the venom.
Every
That's gonna
father
be on
needs
you.
to train their son,
son to-
about
It's
gonna be
that,
in you.
about the snake thing, and I didn't do that.
But
Oops.
basically,
Thor knows.
Loki reasons or accuses Odin of taking Loki from Laufey after having
Jotunheim?
Laufey is his father,
Yeah, yeah.
but like
Yeah.
for slaying Laufey and taking him from Jotunheim, that he had an ulterior motive, that it wasn't just because Odin's like, no, like you were a prince, you deserved a princely upbringing. I fought him in combat that was all totally cool. Like, it was all part of the rules.
Oh, yeah, like I challenged him or he challenged
me, and I fought him in Mortal Kombat, and he's defeated, and I took his kid to raise him in a because there was
in
no
a
other
kingly fashion.
exactly.
Was he
Well,
the
sorry, left you?
scorpion to Laufey's Sub-Zero?
Yes. But he says,
What was I supposed to do?
right, what
In
was I
other
supposed to do?
words,
And
like, that was
Thor
the right
and
thing.
Loki's like, I think you took me in to make Thor look better by comparison, and to have like an obstacle. That like I was doomed to failure, and you brought me in,
Right.
just so that like it would make Thor seem better,
Yeah.
and would
he's up
galvanize.
on a pedestal.
It would
Yeah.
galvanize his goodness.
So he could just win constantly.
Yes.
against somebody.
And can you admit you didn't do that? And Odin shies away from
How
it.
about you shut up?
He's like, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not what happened.
Right. And Loki's like, no, I am Laufey's revenge. Like, I did it. You know, you slew Laufey, you raised me, I defeated you and took Asgard. So, haha. And I'm also going to kill Thor, and I'm going to cut his head off.
And
he
won't,
says, I'm
won't
gonna-
that be
that.
fun?
Well, he's like, I'm going to kill Thor, and he goes, and how do you propose to do that? And Loki says, I will remove his head from his shoulders. And let's see him survive that.
Thor's like, or Odin's like, I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, and he doesn't, and I'm like, I mean, that seems kind of direct and obvious, but okay.
Right.
So, when Loki leaves, he is met by the shrouded figure who crossed all the realms to meet with him, and it is his mother, Farbauti.
Oh,
That's not a dude?
I forgot about her.
What's interesting is, in mythology, Farbauti is Loki's father. But in Marvel continuity, Laufey is Loki's father.
This person clearly has a beard and a mustache.
And I'm assuming that it's like transforming from father to mother as he's going through. Or it was like a visage that they threw up to throw people off.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the version. Like, much like Loki is also a woman in a different multiverse.
Yeah.
This is the version of Forebodie where, like, I'm a woman.
I'm a chick, yeah.
I'm your mom.
Right, I became your mom. But in this one, it's Laufey's wife.
Okay.
And that basically when the war against Laufey took place, like they slew all the men, but they left the women, and so, Farbauti was kind of like left in her shame. She's all the worst qualities of Loki.
She looks like it.
Yeah.
She got the bad
got the
teeth.
horrible
She got the
teeth.
bad hair.
Oh, yeah.
The prominent brow.
She's gonna be all like, "Yes, you've done it."
Yeah. And she's
Oh,
like,
my beautiful son.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, your hands are even more leather worn than mine.
Oh, maybe I'll just marry you because it's mythology.
Oh,
Who
no.
cares?
Oh,
She
no.
does imply that, yeah.
Oh.
Ew, what?
No, she's like, I've got an army in Jotunheim waiting. Like, for you, let's call upon them. You'll lead them.
Right.
We'll
slaughter all these
people. We'll take all the realms, and I will stand by your side as your mother and your queen.
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh,
yeah, the only thing you
man.
have to do is, get someone to man the
mommy
Rainbow
wife.
Bridge.
Oh, never! So, but when she touches his face, like in a motherly gesture,
Oh, ew, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, look at her hand.
she's got man hands.
She does.
But when she does, everyone around him like snickers and like, whispers, and that like makes him pissed. And he says, "Of course, my mother, like go." And he basically sends her to like an opulent place to stay.
Right.
And then he goes to his attendant. He's like, "She is under house arrest in all but name. Like
Right.
give her everything she wants, anything she asks for, but don't let her leave."
Right.
Loki is like a cautionary tale of not to give in to gossip and people around you's judgment. Like, just gotta let it roll off your back, man.
Yeah. But then when Loki,
But also, don't be a terrible person.
oh yeah,
Well,
also
yeah,
try
also
not to be a
Do
monster.
that, but like that probably would help, but not to have these guys. Come
Yeah.
on.
But Loki's left by himself, and he's like, let them snicker. We'll see how much they laugh when I cut off their hero's head in front of them. But then he's alone for a second, which means that like all these different attendants come to his aid, and they're like, hey, we need we need the bridges and roads to be paved, and we need we need water in the aquifer. We got all kinds of problems. The toilets are overflowing all over the place.
At what point does he pull out the gas can and just douse the whole place?
He literally, yeah, right.
Walk off.
I'm bored. He's surrounded by people, and then he like disappears. They're like, where was he? Where'd he go? And he just slips away, and he's like, pfft.
He's like invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he calls himself Laufey's Revenge, but he's making fun of himself, where he's like, no, I'm Odin's revenge, because Odin raised me in such like opulence and beauty and like prestige that when my own mother comes to see me, she is wretched and smelly, and I don't want to be in her sight.
Right.
Like, he has stolen my mother from me.
And then he drinks mead in a way no one ever has.
I feel like people with like
Just-
teeth like his
just
definitely drink it
pour
like this.
Like keep the lip of the horn
Yeah, just
like
right.
close
Or-
on the edge.
Just so some of it can dribble.
Yeah,
down
don't
the
Yeah.
use your
sides.
top lip. Just use the bottom to catch it, like
Yeah.
a basin.
Yeah.
Let it overflow.
Jeez, Loki,
Once
drink
it-
much?
Once it fills, then you know to swallow.
Yeah.
No wonder they make funny of Loki. You do
Yeah.
things like this.
And Daya's like, let me pour that for you. She
Let me
shows
help you
up
out
and
with
she's
that.
like, hey, you look like you could use a good fucking. And he's like, I really could. And so they bang. And then it's dawn, and the it's
He's
done.
mellowed. He's like, hey, Thor, it's fine. You'll
Yeah.
live.
Wait, why'd they have to just put? That's all you needed.
I know, but he wanted it big and
On a big
impressive.
platform, yeah.
All right, fine.
Where's his dick?
That was your headcanon. So we saw, like, it's dawn. And we see that Thor has, like, built up his strength to free himself. Loki gets up, she's like, "What did I do a good job?" He's like, "Good enough, get out of here." And when he goes to like freshen up, he's got like a basin of water or whatever that he's gonna clean himself in, and he looks in the water and he sees Thor standing before him, like another flashback. And Thor's like, "Aren't we two fine fellows, Loki?" And he remembers like that Thor has been Sif, Balder, Odin, Frigga, everybody. Thor has been the only one who never mocked him and only looked at him as a brother. Like, Thor loved him.
I mean, I'll let
That's-
other people make fun of you, but I won't.
That's interesting because that's like selective in terms, because we've seen Thor do that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and
before.
Thor makes fun
In
of him.
jest.
No, he goes, before he made friends, before he had like corrupting influences, Thor saw me as his brother. And the reason why I'm killing you and not the others is because you stopped. Because one day you stopped being my brother. Right. So Hela arrives and she's like, well, today's the day. It's dawn. You really going to do this? And he's like, yeah. She goes, you've been telling everybody, you've been swinging your dick around talking about how much you're going to kill Thor, but I feel like you're not going to kill Thor.
I love her just like flying around
Yeah.
him, like
Yeah.
just stand for a second.
Yeah.
No, this is what I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She floats around the entire time. She's like flying around. She's like getting in his face, like get away. And he's like trying to get dressed, and she's like, oh, your dick's looking a little tiny, huh? Like she's just flying all over the place. He's like, okay, if you want to see me naked, go ahead, but like, I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna get ready for the day.
Yeah.
And he won't answer her. She's like, you need to tell me. You need to say out loud, I'm going to kill Thor and give you his soul, and you won't say it.
I need it to be a binding agreement.
Yeah. And, we see that Thor is, like, still in his shackles, but now he's, like, pushing against it with his strength, and we see that the chains are coming undone. One of his attendants comes in, he's like, hey, Loki, what's up?
Oh, why are you naked?
Yeah. And, he's yelling at Hela, and he's like, who are you yelling at? And he's like, shut up!
No one asked you.
Yeah. Is it not your will to kill your brother? And he's like, no. It's not. I don't want to kill Thor. You're right. You're right, I don't want to kill Thor. He's my brother, and
I also never wanted to kill him in the first place.
I never wanted to kill him in the first place.
your idea.
That was your idea.
Yeah.
And she's like, Thor is not going to spare you if you spare him. Like, he's not going to show you
Right.
goodwill.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to help you here.
And he goes, maybe not. Like, maybe not.
yeah, but he's
You're
not
right.
going to kill him either.
No. Maybe this is the ultimate conflict between us, and when he sees me, he'll see the brother that he scorned. Like, he'll see what I see, which is that, like, we have a history and that we were brothers.
Why would
like-
he see that? You just overthrew him.
Yeah, but, like, I was like, yeah, but
Thor's supposed to be the better of the two.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a piece of shit, and I've been dancing around about how great it is and how I'm gonna kill everybody, and I humiliated his woman, and I imprisoned his friend, and I
Maybe now he'll be nice to me.
well,
But I can't.
That'll
I'm
wake him
seeing
up.
all that.
I'm seeing the error of my ways. Like, I'm seeing it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
he'll
seeing
see
the error
it.
of my ways because I can't fill the aqueducts and get the roads. I'm not a city planner, man.
Yeah, right? Come
I don't
on.
know what to do.
I don't want you to turn the page and tell us that. All right.
So
keep
he
going.
goes, how can he doubt me when I have his life and I hand it back to him? How could he possibly doubt my intention? And Hela's like, the trickster can trick everyone but himself, and then transforms into Loki, revealing that Hela was never here, and that Loki created Hela to decide whether he was going to do it or not.
Oh, interesting.
That there are, well, and
There's like a voice in his head.
this is
or
up
like
to interpretation, but Hela, she turns into Loki and then disappears, and the implication is varied. It could be that Loki manifested Hela as a way of kind of like challenging his own beliefs. It could be that this is one of those multiversal Lokis that came to see if like the Loki of like Earth Prime or whatever will do what none of them could. It could be that it was Hela, and that Hela like is using imagery to show that to hammer home her message that like you
Right.
can't trick anybody, but you can trick everyone but yourself.
Maybe the Loki we're seeing in this book is a multiversal Loki.
Right.
This is an alternate universe, and that's our Loki. That was Hela checking out this one.
It could be.
Like, oh, in this one, Loki's winning. Let's see if he goes through with it. Let's see if he kills Thor.
Because the Loki that Hela reverts to is not the same Loki that we see.
Yeah,
in this
some
book.
other Loki.
Yeah, Loki is like, okay, we're gonna call on Thor and we're gonna let him go. I'm going to bury the hatchet with Thor.
And he will bury it
Okay.
in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking that, like, much like Sif's hair got cut off and it turned black because, like, they implanted it, it never grew back. Like, all of Loki's teeth missing is because he does something stupid and Lord just wails him in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's Uru tooth loss. But yeah, that like maybe this is the Loki we see at home, and that every Loki that we see like in the Marvel universe when he's like fighting the Avengers and stuff, he uses a like imagery spell to show that he has like veneers.
A glamour, if you will.
Yeah. But anyway, so but he's like, he's like Scrooge at the end of the Christmas Carol, where he's like, I learned. We're gonna see a new golden age of two brothers like run everything.
This is two brothers.
It's two brothers.
Just two brothers.
Two brothers.
And as he's explaining it to his attendant, Thor has freed himself and caves in the wall, and Loki is pinned under rubble. And he's Thor, wait!
I was gonna free you.
He goes, Thor,
Oh,
this
I
is it.
bet.
This is the moment. If there was ever mercy in you and you ever loved me, wham! He hits it with the fucking hammer, and the book ends.
What?
Oh, but this Loki did break the universal Loki rule. He didn't end up with a serpent.
No, he had to be crushed by a friggin'
Well,
hammer.
is he killed or is he just bonked?
Or he just lost a toe.
He just lost more teeth.
Just
Well, I mean, there is an awful lot of blood and thunder
Yeah, that's true. But
and lightning.
this is the Loki pitch at the end.
That's good, by the way.
Thank you.
But he says, Loki looks up at him, at Thor, at all that beauty and perfection with golden shoulders, and says, I would do it again. I would do it all again. I will do it all again.
oh.
Oh.
So it's like, because there are 1,000 me's
Yeah.
and yous, and that we're going to do this forever.
I do it all again.
I
Smash.
love Ribbick's ability to draw something so simple that's awesome.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I like this little Thor.
So yeah, that's the story of Loki, is just like, Loki gets everything he wanted and learns that all he really wanted was his brother to love him again. And
he
his
didn't
brother is a muscle-bound simpleton who won't listen to his story for 2 seconds and hits him in the face with
Well,
a big
yeah,
hammer.
But also, like, as far as
Why
I know,
should I?
you were gonna kill me.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You built
Yep.
this huge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
you had
but-
to change heart like at the zero
Just
hour.
when I burst through the
But
wall.
are you Thor?
Conveniently.
Are you Thor not meant to be a ruler, a king, and a hero?
Yes.
So should you not?
Right.
I've been that a lot. I'm gonna be different today. Well,
Yeah, well,
You've been asking for it all day. Wonk.
yeah. Look,
So-
a good ruler has to, punish people who try to overthrow their kingdom.
Yeah,
you know?
I gotta-
So
I
my
gotta
hands are
ru-
tied. I gotta beat the crap out.
This is a cool
I'm
book.
sorry.
Right?
Yeah,
hey,
this is
I'm not
cool.
hanging you from the gallows.
Yeah, exactly.
Loki's clearly a dick, but he's kind of driven to it based on everyone's reception of him
Yeah.
and perception
Well,
of
and
him.
the flashbacks are important because they seek to justify Loki's actions, but in the end, even the Thor flashbacks that justify Loki's behavior, there's only one, and it's only when he's surrounded by women and friends, and it's not like the Thor we actually never see, which is like the Thor who was raised. Actually, we see one flashback where the two of them are being taught by a scribe or whatever. There's some teacher that Odin puts before them, and Loki and Thor are taught lessons, and they're not learning grammar or whatever. They're learning about myth and legend and belonging and shit. And basically, Thor says in the lesson, his takeaway is that darkness can't exist without light because, one complements the other. If light must have darkness, then it must stand to reason that darkness must have light, which I think is a little lesson that Loki has in the back of his head that justifies his decision
Yeah,
to
I
spare
can't
his
be all
brother.
good.
Where he's
Or all bad.
yeah, where if my brother is capable of understanding this as a child, maybe he can learn the lesson that I just learned at the last second.
Right, but it could also be the lesson that Loki takes away is the I am the darkness.
Oh,
Yep.
Thor's.
that is his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When that's
I'm
a lesson
always
that he.
bad, and he's always good, and that's just the nature of
That's
things.
how
But,
it.
but
how it
because
is.
of that, I have to be partially good
right.
to be bad.
Well, I have to understand it at the very least. But yeah,
I'm
there's
bad, and that's good.
Thanks,
right.
Ralph.
You need me.
yeah, yeah.
need Loki.
You can't recognize your goodness. You can't even reach your fullest potential without me.
This isn't even my final form.
My final form is being venomed by a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My final form includes boobs, I guess.
Yeah. Now you see me as I truly am.
Hot.
So that's it. That's Loki.
Yay!
It's a fun story, and it's beautifully written and
Yeah.
expertly painted, and one must check it out.
This is the kind of Ribbick art I do miss a little
Yeah.
bit sometimes. I get
myth and legend?
He's doing something new now, and you
Yeah.
get this occasionally. But I do miss this.
The very
Yeah.
painting style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secret Wars has a little bit of this because it's a little bit more epic. And
No, it does, and I really do like it, but the enhanced pencils are still solid.
Yeah.
There, it's like some of his newer stuff, you still get these epic moments, but there's a little more looseness sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah. And I think that might be just because the last time we saw him, he's on a monthly book. And it's just, this was a 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah,
and it has no continuity. He could have done this over a year.
he had some time.
Yeah. But I do appreciate that Marvel at least had the understanding to put out an oversized edition of this.
gorgeous.
Because otherwise the only way you got it is this little rinky-dink edition, which by the way was the way I read it, and I loved it. Loki. You gotta read it. If you like Asgard, if you like Thor, if you like Loki, if you're in any way interested, nothing in here will be referenced in the show. I can promise you that.
If you enjoy flashbacks.
If you love flashbacks, there's plenty of them. But if you like myth and legend and Norse mythology and stuff like that, because like they play with the Marvel Norse mythology and like real Norse mythology.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm disappointed we don't get more of Loki's mother in this. Like
I-
she shows
she's-
up and he's like, she's under house arrest. That's the last we see of her.
That's it. She's throughout the book. They keep cutting back to her, like making her pilgrimage, and then she shows up, and then that's
Pinches
it.
his face and he's like, get
Get
her
out."
out.
Yup.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Well, that suggests that's supposed to be like a pivotal moment for him.
Yes.
Like with all that build up,
Yeah, that's true.
that's like a key moment in the book that determines, I guess, his course of action.
Yeah.
Which
Totally.
that would be a pretty big moment in your life, like realizing like I'm so ruined by everything.
My upbringing.
I find my mother
upbringing and everything that
repulsive.
happened to me
Yeah.
and everything that I've done brought me to this moment,
Yep.
and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Cool.
And of course the what is unsaid, which is things like, well, I got everything I wanted and I'm still miserable. Now what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
I guess all I can live for is the constant and never-ending struggle of battling my brother.
Well, I guess if maybe
Jesus.
even battling my brother, it shows that he cares.
And that's a good takeaway. So check it out. I'll make this big one available. It's actually not too
Yay.
expensive, and you can get it on Amazon, which is cheaper than most places, so check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long.
Bye.